we should be live.
Sure.
Min-Liang Tan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Really good to have you here. Really good to have you to be in your store. Thanks for having us over.
Yeah.
Now I got a few questions for you about what you do, your products.
I don't do much.
Okay. But the first question I got to ask you is, what are you playing right now?
I'm playing a lot of Apex Legends, right? I think I just got into it, and recently, Apex Legends just also announced native integration from Razer Chroma. So I have been on the road. I've been able to get back to my desktop rig to play with it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
So what does that mean? They support Razer Chroma. What does that actually entail in game?
Well, Razer Chroma, we're the largest RGB platform in the world. So essentially, what our goal was with Razer Chroma was to bring the immersiveness of the game to the rig itself. But now we've expanded it so much more. We connect with third parties. We do, we are able to, let's say, get hit in the game, or if you choose a special character, it reacts in a certain way. And then now we connect with people like Philips Hue, so the whole room kind of reacts with it. We're working with third parties like NSI, Thermaltake, bringing all their the RGB goodness on a single platform. And now it's got Apex Legends native integration. We're the first company to do that, so super pumped about it.
That's great. But you also have another tie-up that you just announced, and that's with Tencent.
Yes.
For mobile gaming. What does that mean? What does that deal entail?
So, in short, we're collaborating with them on mobile gaming, and that's a huge vertical that we kind of created for core gamers when we launched the first Razer phone. And we kind of didn't just create one product. We spawned an entire industry. By 2018, everyone had a gaming phone and things like that. So our collaboration with Tencent is really focused on how do we optimize hardware, I think, for Tencent mobile games, PUBG, so on and so forth, and for mobile controllers, etc. And then secondly, Razer Cortex is one of the most downloaded kind of like game launchers out there. We've moved it across to the mobile, so Razer Cortex Mobile. We've opened it up to multiple Android phones, so on and so forth. And we're working to optimize the games for Razer Cortex Mobile. So you can download it, check it out on the Play Store. We've got a Android phone that we support at this point of time. And thirdly, we're looking at additional ways in which we can work with Tencent for mobile games, for monetization, services, so on and so forth. So 3 major areas that we're working together with them.
But as you know, Tencent are also have announcements of their own. They've just started cloud beta for their new, they've just started a closed beta for their new cloud gaming service, or game streaming service, depending on the term you prefer.
Sure.
Are there any opportunities for Razer there?
Well, we're excited about the entire streaming kind of category. We've got Google in it, we've got Microsoft in it, Tencent's in it. We know of a couple more that's coming up. So what's exciting about it is that we're seeing this entire convergence of gamers, right? No longer are there going to be like PC-specific gamers, console-specific gamers, or mobile-specific gamers, because you're going to be able to see PC games, right, being played on the mobile. You're going to see console games being played on the PC, so on and so forth. Now, a couple of important areas is, when you think about it, a game needs to be developed with a UI in mind. So, you've got to see how do you bring, let's say, the keyboard and mouse experience to the console. So we are working with Microsoft on that, with the Xbox, with the turrets, where you've got a keyboard and mouse experience on the console. For the mobile experience, how do you bring that UI across also at the same time? So I think that's where Razer really shines. We're looking at this entire convergence. We're seeing the 3+1 vertical of PC, console, mobile, and we're excited about it. 2 billion gamers out there, 4 gamers by gamers, that's what we're about.
It feels like there's both a real big opportunity for you guys here in terms of making those devices to run, you could even make a mouse and keyboard attachment for your phone.
Absolutely.
But on the flip side, it also feels like there's a big danger here for you guys, because if this takes off, you guys make great gaming PCs, you make a gaming phone as well.
Sure.
In theory, cloud gaming or game streaming has the ability to kind of make those not matter anymore. You don't need a good phone for that. You can just play on any old phone.
Sure. So I think that's where I think our strategy, we have been announcing it throughout. You see, at the end of the day, I think our user interfaces business, the peripherals business, is going to do incredibly well, because you still have all the UI and things like that you really require to have that great experience. Our technologies business of like Chroma, THX spatial surround, so on and so forth, also incredibly important, because you want to bring all that goodness across to the users and gamers. Now, our services business, which kind of grew 4-fold year on year last year, incredibly important, because you still need to find a way to do payment services, so on and so forth. Now, you've touched on a very good point. What about the client, right? What about the system? Well, we've got the Razer Blade Stealth. It doesn't have an integrated graphics chip in it, but you still need a client, right? And that's, I think, what's really exciting for gamers. You still have the enthusiast gamers, the hardcore gamers like ourselves, where we say we're going to eke out every single bit of it. So I think over and above, you still need a client in any shape and form. That's still important, and we're going to be there. We're going to be growing our business for UI. We've got that. And I think the next thing to really think about is, what about the pipe? What about 5G? So we're super excited about 5G also at the same time, because it's all about enabling gaming anytime, anywhere. So when I'm on the road, I'm going to be able to play Apex Legends. I'm going to be able to play whatever game I want. All streamed. And at some point in time, I want to see it being streamed on the plane. That's one of the things I really would like to happen.
So 5G Razer phone?
No, I'm not talking about hardware or anything like that, or future product. As you well know, we are this central focal point for a lot of companies to look at what we're going to come up with. But for me, I think this year is actually an interesting year for phones, right? I say that because if I want to get a phone this year, it's got to be a 5G phone, right? But the problem would be, concurrently, the 5G networks aren't ready. So to me, I actually think that a great opportunity is to buy 4G phones this year, tide through next year when the networks are ready. It's one of those years where 2G to 3G, 3G to 4G, 4G now to 5G. It's a transition year. It's a challenging year, I think, in terms of hardware for phones.
I have a question for you on software that came from Twitter. One of your big fans, Holden Court, asks, what happened to the Razer Game Store?
Oh, so for us, I think streaming is one of the reasons also. By the way, I'm not taking questions on the toaster. Right. I'm just saying that if any of you tweet questions about the toaster, I'm not answering any of that. Okay, back to program. And if you got a question on the toaster, I'm going to punch you on the stream. Okay, that's not going to happen.
It could make for a good stream though. Right?
So the Razer Game Store, well, we saw what Epic was doing, so we are excited about what Epic. I mean, we tend to have a lot of experiments internally within the company. And honestly, we also see streaming and things like that happening throughout. So, it was an experiment for us. We tried it out. We've given a great experience, but we said, look, we need to double down and focus on things like mobile gaming for ourselves. We need to double down and focus on our gaming laptops and stuff. So we tend to do that. We invest in companies, startups. We have a lot of gamers that approach us to fund their ideas, and we do that from time to time.
I want to ask again about the Razer phone. I think one thing that's fascinating about the Razer phone is so many phones seem to be kind of for everyone. Like the iPhone, they try to design it for everyone. Sure. But the Razer phone's a rarity in that it's designed for a very specific audience. How's it doing?
So it's doing phenomenally well. I think for us, when it's completely achieved the goals that we wanted it, it's a little bit like I like to say in the very early days. When I first launched the gaming mouse, there was like, why do you need a gaming mouse? It's such a niche market, so on and so forth. And we spawned an entire industry. Look out there, every single gaming, kind of gear company, we were the ones that spawned this entire industry. We continue to lead it from a technology and design perspective, and that's something that we're very focused on. Now, for the gaming phone, our objective was really a couple of fold. We wanted to make sure that mobile gaming was treated as a core gaming experience, because nobody wanted to do that. We were waiting for somebody to kind of stick their necks out to do that, and we had to create our own phone to get to that point. Now, that was in 2017. By 2018, boom, we had gaming phones coming out of the hill from everyone. And to us, we've achieved our first goal. Now, my next goal, I think, for Razer is, how do we make every smartphone out there a gaming phone? No matter what brand you have, no matter what you're doing, how do we get there? And that's why we're doubling down on Cortex. We're going to be doing a lot more in terms of getting that great immersive experience to gamers everywhere. And that's what we're going to do.
That leads me on to another question.
Sure.
From Discord. Arvad in Discord asked about, well, like you said, you helped start this industry where everybody's making gaming devices. So he says, like Logitech, they used to be the office hardware guys, and now they're making decent hardware. What are your thoughts on the competition out there?
I think it's great. We don't see it as competition per se. To me, honestly, I'm a gamer at the end of the day, right? And I will recommend brands, products, as long as they're built for gamers and authentic for gamers, because there are a whole bunch of products that are just branded gamer, and they're just trying to rip people off. But as long as we're trying to build this industry together, because you have to remember, when I first started out, gaming was like, don't waste your time, don't do this, don't do that. And to me, Razer wasn't just about ourselves; it's about bringing the whole industry out there. So, give you an example like Chroma. We are the largest RGB platform out there. Now, there are a lot of hardware companies that do RGB, but RGB, it's not just about colors, it's about connecting with the games and stuff like that. And we've spent a lot of time, we've got hundreds of games that natively support Razer Chroma. And for the other RGB kind of companies out there, the most they have is 1 or 2 games natively integrated. We are the largest by far. Now, something like Apex Legends, if we were a hardware company, if we looked at all of these guys as competitors, I would say I want Razer to be the only company that controls this, right? But that would be a dick move to do. We want to be able to do it for everyone. So we opened up a third-party kind of a platform to say, great, you know, MSI, you make gaming gear and you make gaming laptops and stuff like that. Fine, it's good, it's fine. Come on board. We'll make sure that when Apex Legends boots up, you know, your graphics cards and stuff like that react the same way. We do all the work. We invest in this. That's what we want to do.
I want to toss you one last question from Twitch before I move on to a couple of my questions.
Okay.
Graphic Hipster is asking, will there be a wireless
Graphic
Xbox?
Hipster.
Graphic Hipster. It's a good name, right?
All right.
There's also a bunch of questions about toasters I could ask, but Graphic Hipster asks, would a
all you guys with the toaster thing, don't bring the toaster guys into this chat, all right? I'm just telling you guys.
They're already here. Would a wireless Xbox controller come out similar to the PS4 variant?
So, you know, everyone keeps asking me what's going to be the next product coming out. I can just say 2 things. Number 1, it's not going to be a toaster. And number 2, I can't tell you what the next product is going to be. All right? You know, I'm just going to go on a tangent. I'm not going to go on a tangent. But essentially, you know, I can't talk about future product. What I can, because you have to remember, the entire industry is always like, oh, what is Razer going to do and stuff like that. Actually, if you think about it, if we ever did a toaster, the whole freaking industry is going to come up with gaming toasters. All right? Can you imagine what you guys would have done? You don't want to do that.
So, okay, now I'm getting Rip Toaster in the chat. So I have a question about that, because you guys do make some out there products. Maybe not as crazy as a toaster. Right. But every CES, you seem to bring out a new prototype, a new project, you know, Project Valerie, things like that. And so my first question is why?
Well, you know, at Razer, we've got this thing called Razer Labs, right? Internally, we do future technologies, whatever it is. In fact, many of the things that we invest in, I think, would be, you literally see in the market 3 to 4 years from now. So every CS, we pull one of those out, we put it out there and we showcase it. And many of the technologies that you can see, the Switchblade key module, the modular aspect of Project Christine and things like that, will make its way into the mainstream kind of product. So think about it like a concept car that we showcase, and certain bits of the technology we will then take out and productize it and launch it. So that's the stuff that we do it's not just for CES, but we're always investing in the future. We're always making sure we've got the best talent. We're always hiring gamers, hardcore gamers, and all of that to look at what is the future of gaming. And we're always looking ahead 5, 10 years to do cool stuff.
Then what do you say though to a cynic like me, who sees those things and says, you know, you're only taking bits and pieces of some of the products and bringing them into your real products, and says that it's just a publicity stunt?
Well, I would say that for us, it's a showcase of the tech that we do, and you'll actually see elements that we bring across. But in terms of designing a product, it's not enough to just look at it from a single hardware product. You've got to look at it from a holistic software services. You look at the macro aspect. The market must be ready. So to give an example, you know, streaming, today we're all excited about it, but 10 years ago there was OnLive, right? So and even back then it was cool. Now should OnLive have talked about it? Absolutely, because it's about sharing the technology, it's about making sure that we can move the entire industry. We are one of the bellwethers of the industry in terms of saying we need to do more in this aspect. We need to invest more in terms of esports, for example. We have been talking about esports for the longest time. And back in the day, it's like everyone's, you know, this guy, we'll pull him on TV once in a while to say, hey, look, this guy's talking about playing games for a living and things like that. Today, it's serious business. You know, now we're pitching things at governments. We're now pitching things like platforms. We've brought esports as a medal sport to the SEA Games. You know, just think about it. And that's really our goal. You know, to me, it's our diabolical plan to get gamers to take over the world.
I have 2 last questions for you.
Sure.
One is about the design of your products and your design language, because you guys have kind of really pushed forward this idea of the gamer aesthetic being black, bright green edges, colors.
Sure.
Why? Why pick this look? What drove that thinking?
Well, it's our design ethos, I think, and right from the get-go, it's all about minimalism and keeping it very, very clean. And light has always been a bit of like an aesthetic. And when it comes to light, when you put too much, it becomes really crass. If it's too little, it doesn't have the effect. So the problem is designing with a minimal approach with accents is actually important. But the problem is that as we've created this aesthetic for the entire industry, many designers take it off on a completely off-tangent level, and they put all kinds of garish lights and stuff like that on it, but we get blamed for it. So you literally, if you look at it, because we spawn this, but if you look at a Razer product, you know, by itself, or the suite of products, we're actually really clean, minimalist. We've got accents to it. You can tune it up or tune it down, and we've kind of created this. But when you get a whole bunch of other brands that don't really understand about design, they get crazy logos, right? Like weird stuff, and a lot of them are just aping what we do, or they put lots of lights because Razer puts lights, we have to put lights, and it's all over. So that's what disturbs me quite a bit, right? When it goes all the way on a different tangent.
My last question for you, because I'm out of time.
Okay.
Is we talk about your favorite game right now is.
Sure.
What's your favorite game of all time?
Of all time? Now that's a really hard question because, you know.
That's why I saved it for the end.
There are all kinds of, so couple of games that, I'll just use a couple, right? I'm just going to cheat and use a couple. Well, you know, very, very early on when I started playing with Apple II, there were things like Load Runner, you know, Rescue Raiders, words that you guys would probably not even remember. Oh, is that right? Okay, cool.
Yes, I am that old.
Then I think one of the other things was things like Ultima 4. So that was pretty cool because when I was playing it, I met Lord British after that, and I talked to him. I said, "Look, this was super cool because all of a sudden it wasn't just about hack and slash or killing everything. You needed some kind of like a moral code and stuff like that." So Ultima 4 was big. I play a lot of Civilization, you know, on the plane and things like that. That's what I'm really playing.
Get nuked by Gandhi a lot.
Well, you know, to me, it's one of those things where a game, you know, reminds me of you know, like the times I have playing games with my brother. You know, Romance of Three Kingdoms is also one of the strategy games I really enjoyed. And today I'm meeting a lot of these guys, the developers themselves, and I'm saying like, I love your games, and they're coming back and say we use Razer, you know, throughout our gaming studios and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. You know, I think that's the
good to give back and contribute in some way.
Absolutely.
Min-Liang Tan, really good to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right.
Thanks everyone. See you guys. We're gonna lean over for the awkward bit of stopping.
Okay.